Today's episode of the Talkhouse Podcast, and in fact, all of the Talkhouse Podcasts recorded backstage at Pitchfork Festival 2017, is brought to you in part by Shure. Here at the Talkhouse, this is our first collaboration with Shure, but we've been using their microphones from the very beginning. If you go to our YouTube channel and watch any of our full episodes, you'll see any of the artists there. The Flaming Lips, Wayne Coyne, DJ Premier, Prince Paul, Kathleen Hanna, Meredith Graves, Todd Barry, Chris Gethard, Fab Moretti of The Strokes, David Cross. They're all using Shure microphones. It's because it's all we've used the whole time. They're the best. Shure also just released its Motive microphone series. Shure's Motive microphones are specifically designed for your podcasting needs. And in fact, loyal listeners, if you recall the recent episode featuring LCD Sound System's Tyler Pope in conversation with Thurston Moore, Tyler's intro conversation was recorded by him in Europe just after walking off stage with the band, with the Motive plugged directly into his phone. It sounds amazing, and so will your podcast recorded with Motive. What's up? What's up? This is Elia Einhorn. Welcome to the Talkhouse Podcast. Today I'm joined by...
Hey, I'm Amy Rose Spiegel, Talkhouse Music's Editor-in-Chief.
I hope all of you listeners enjoyed Thanksgiving. I hope you enjoyed your tofurkey, your vegan pot roast. Listen, we have an amazing show for you today. This is the fourth installment in our Pitchfork Music Festival series. We recorded a bunch of talks backstage at the fest. In conversation today, our de facto Chicago correspondent, Spencer Tweedy, and Jason Balla and Mikey Wells of Knee High.
So Knee High actually played one of my favorite sets of the fest. These guys were having so much fun on stage. They actually even covered Harry Nilsson.
That's so funny because these guys, they rock. They don't sound like Harry Nilsson.
Right. You'll hear it yourself, listeners, as we play you this clip of Rattled and Strange off of their most recent record, Offers.
That's not Harry Nilsson.
Nah, but it does rule. And so, in addition to that most recent record, Offers, they've also collaborated with Jamila Woods, who you might remember from our last Pitchfork podcast.
Right. She was on the podcast speaking with the ladies of the band Ohm. There's another connection here. Seema Cunningham of Ohm each year runs the artist area of Pitchfork Music Festival. She also sings in the band Tweedy. Now, Spencer Tweedy decided to intern with her to learn a little bit about the fest this year. So he took a moment out of his crazy busy day to join us in our backstage trailer. Loyal listeners, you'll of course remember Spencer Tweedy speaking last year at the fest with Whitney. Now, Spencer grew up in Chicago. He has a very famous dad. You might recognize the name Tweedy. Jeff Tweedy of Wilco is his father, and together they are the core of the band Tweedy.
She spoke to me and provoked my band, and I broke into in the heat of her hand, like a lioness or a coyote, had a big beating heart in the balcony.
Spencer himself has been playing since he was a very little boy. He co-founded his band, The Blisters, who are still around, still releasing music at the age of 7.
Amazing.
This dude's awesome. And he's a great drummer. Now, Spencer is Chicago through and through. And in this talk, the guys get into a few sort of Chicago establishments. And I just want to give a little context for those. So the first one is the guys talk about the famed Second City.
Second City is an awesome incubator for comedy talent, ranging from Amy Poehler to Tina Fey to Chris Farley.
And it goes all the way back to like John Belushi. A lot of SNL's most famous cast members came through Second City. They also get into the Empty Bottle. Now, this is an iconic club in Chicago. Almost every band coming up plays there, and a lot of great touring bands come through. And a couple of the guys from Knee High work there.
Yeah, they actually run sound and lights at the venue.
Totally. They keep the shows going. Now, the guys also get into Taste of Chicago. And I'm going to derail this introduction for a second, Amy Rose,
Please.
Because I have a little Taste of Chicago story. You might remember I used to play in a band.
I do.
We were called the Scotland Yard Gospel Choir. We were signed to Bloodshot Records. And we were asked to play Taste of Chicago. Taste of Chicago pays a lot of money, but it's a very lame fest. It's a lot of restaurants setting up and sort of giving you like a tidbit of food for $300, that kind of thing.
Sure, totally.
So just before our set, I went out and I bought a slice of what was meant to be deep dish pizza from a vendor called Reggio's. But Amy Rose, it was not deep dish pizza.
Gasp.
This was a limp piece of cardboard on my paper plate. I'm from Chicago. I love New York pizza. I adore it. There's apples and oranges. They're both amazing. But when you order a Chicago deep dish slice, you want a Chicago deep dish slice. And I felt so bad for the girl who sold it to me. We looked in each other's eyes, and she knew that she was selling me a lie. So anyway, I spent about a third of our set denouncing Reggio's from the stage until one of the fest organizers actually ran over and asked me to stop hating on the sponsor.
Ooh.
Yeah, but I'm going to do it one last time. Reggio's, if you're selling Chicago-style pizza, it's got to be deep dish, dog, not the thin cardboard shit. All that being said, the guys talk a lot about Chicago music, Chicago establishments, and Pitchfork Festival here. They also talk about Knee-High's origin theory of Spencer's, quote, ponderous gaze.
They get into why bands ask for gold-flaked burgers on their riders.
Yeah, they do. There's a theory postulated of WWE's progressivism and wrestling in the name of peace.
Of course. And finally, how what really matters is rock and roll.
And taxes.
Should we roll it?
Let's do it.
My name is Spencer. Spencer Tweedy. I play in a couple of bands, including one with my dad called Tweedy, and one called The Blisters, which we might talk about.
We should. I'm Jason. I play in a band called Knee High with Mikey over here.
It's me, Mikey, from Knee High.
Well, I hadn't ever seen you guys play until today at Pitchfork, and it was fucking awesome. Yeah.
Thanks,
good
man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun, actually.
Yeah.
Qualify with actually because
I had a
I
panic
had no idea what
attack.
to expect. Yeah.
Really?
No, my cord broke, so it was just for like a song or two. So I was having a panic attack for a second, but it all got figured out. It ended up working out.
It was pretty smooth. This is also the first time we played with someone helping us guitar tech.
Oh, nice.
And we're not used to playing a stage so big, so all of our cables are like
Sure.
only 3 feet long, and so we're
Oh
like,
my God.
It's like $1 a foot.
yeah.
on
Originally,
the
when I
chords.
set up, it was like I kind of had a 3-foot zone in between the stage, and I was like, I guess I should do something else. And then even still, it was so short. I was pulling all of my pedals around. I was just trying to get our guy to tape it down, and I was like, tape, and he was like, yeah. So he just started like putting tape on everything, and I was like, like on the thing, I don't know how to say it. But it worked out. It was okay.
Well, next, I think you need to get the wireless pack. Just run around.
Oh yeah,
Dude,
and
Journey style.
And then like Garth Brooks, like the mic pack, like fly across the stage. Chris Gaines also.
I don't think there's ever been a more material measure of where you are as a band than the length of your guitar cable.
Yeah.
So now I can maybe ask you this question.
Yeah, sure.
So what do the Blisters have in store?
But we were talking about the band that I play in with my friends before we started recording. And then I felt like a PRE jerk for saying I want to save it for the podcast. But we were just, yeah. Anyway.
But here we are.
Yeah. So
Jerk.
Well, I think, yeah. Well, that's gross. You don't want to be like that. But so we've been a band since we were 7 years old. I played drums in the band, and it's
So the age was accurate that I was saying earlier.
yeah. So
I felt like a jerk for saying 9 years old.
yeah. How dare you?
just
We
so-
were
it's
10.
just that cool.
jerks on the mic.
Do you remember what year that was?
I think the first time that me and Spencer, and maybe the last time that we ever have encountered each other was 2006 at a Blister show.
Oh my God! It was 2006.
Do Division Fest.
Oh my God!
It was my first job. Not really a real job, but I was a baby.
Are you sure it was that long ago? That
Or
old?
7? 2006 or 7. I don't know.
Okay, then we were probably like 11 or
Okay.
12.
So you guys had many years under your belt already.
We have many years under our belt. We've only made 2 records in our 14-year career so far, but we still get together. We're going to Canada later this month and playing a couple of shows.
That's where Neil Young's from.
and
I
Chad
heard
Van Galen.
I
should say
heard
hi.
about that.
Where are you going?
We're going to Toronto, Ottawa, and this festival in Field, Ontario called River and Sky. A really hippie-ish camping
That was actually my
ukulele
first
and campfire
vibe with the river sky. I was like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I guess it's
there's going to be a lot of hula hoops.
Yeah.
We actually have played on these festival grounds once before as the North Coast Festival.
Oh, really?
So there's a shit ton of hula hoops.
Wait, that happens here too?
Yeah,
At
it's like
Union
the
Park?
same footprint, but with like a lot more stages because it's like all DJs or a lot of DJs and that kind of stuff.
Mm.
We learned a lot of lessons from that one. Not drinking like an insane amount before when you play at
Don't
noon.
play in 100-degree weather.
Yeah,
yes.
The microphone
'Cause
was
if
so
it got
hot.
100
refuse to play.
degrees,
Just
I
refuse, even if you're contracted.
Yeah.
I got ice packs on my neck. Bring the ice packs in, guys.
Mhm. You need a tech, not for the guitars, but just to lay ice
My
on
ice
it.
And like
Tech.
one of those spritzer fans.
Mhm. I remember in high school there was always competition, or I guess you could use North Coast versus Pitchfork as it was like a divide between
Where your
kids.
soul lies on the dark side or
Where
the
your-
light side.
Yeah, exactly. There were kids. I mean, there's overlap, but it was sort of like jocks versus art kids thing
Jocks versus
with EDM and
Rippers.
Like indie rock.
Sure. It kind of blew my mind, like, not even to bring age into this, but like, or maybe it's like more of a growing up in the city versus like I grew up in the suburbs.
Mhm.
But it's like kids who grew up in the city are doing the coolest shit when they're in high school. They're like going to these wild shows, and I was just like, I guess which park should I like bike to today? And like just sit there for like 4 hours.
Yeah. Yeah. I think kids growing up in the city definitely have an advantage, but I didn't take advantage of it very much. I was mostly on my computer at home
That seems also like a pretty good place to be.
as a kid growing up here.
Were you a Pitchfork or a North Coast kid?
Pitchfork?
You're
I
like
think-
Lala.
Oh, God. Well, actually, I mean, no disrespect to Lala. The Blisters played on the Kidsapalooza stage there a few
Sick.
times. But where did you grow up, Mikey?
I grew up in Wisconsin,
Oh, right.
in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin.
In Fond du Lac. There are all those billboards for Fond du Oh, no. Never
For
mind.
Fond du Lac?
There are billboards
Don't
for
come here.
Oshkosh.
For Oshkosh, yeah.
Yeah, you've
Oshkosh
seen those.
Bagash.
It's not too far.
Yeah, it's not. It's like 2.5, 3 hours away or something.
That whole region is can be a little bit scary. There's some people. I go to school around there, and there's
Yeah,
some,
you went
Where-
up
where
there.
at?
Fox Valley, buddy.
I go to school in the Fox Valley. There's like 100,000 people in our area.
100,000
What's the school
people
called?
waiting to beat your ass, dude.
Yeah,
Hey,
exactly. Are you from the city?
you from Chicago?
I'm from Chicago.
What's going on down there?
But now we're saying like the people threatening me are speaking like Chicagoans.
Yeah, that's right.
They follow you everywhere.
Oh, hi.
Oh,
What do you got going on down there? No, that's where I grew up.
yeah.
There's some good times to be had, and some very bad times too. Love Fond du Lac though. Don't beat me up
What
when
are
I
you
come back.
going to school for?
I study philosophy.
That's where that ponderous gaze comes from.
Yeah. Yeah, and I enjoy it a lot. It's like kind of all the stuff that I've liked about school my life so far, and almost none of the stuff that I didn't like.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It seems like actually like a major that has like critical thought is like the whole thing, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I went to school
Yeah.
and it was not like that.
Yeah. What did you study?
Entrepreneurial management.
Ooh.
Yeah, and creative writing. That was really great, but the management business school was like, it was just like learning like a language of really boring
You
stuff.
managed to
jargon.
get through it.
I did manage to get through. That's where me and Mikey met, was at college.
Oh, really? What school was that?
DePaul?
Yeah.
DePaul.
Nice. Wow, I would not have expected that you studied entrepreneurial. I can't even say it.
Seemed like a good idea
Entrepreneurial
at the time.
Business management.
Entrepreneurial management. Yeah, so it was miserable.
Yeah, I was kind of like the people were like wear suits a lot, and I was the guy who like was biking 6 miles to get to school and was
Yeah.
like really sweaty in the middle of the summer
I was the guy in the suit throwing eggs at him every morning.
on the steps of Wall Street as I biked past.
You bum.
Yeah, it's just that it doesn't really encourage like a lot of like questioning or like thoughts actually like about like anything. It's just kind of like teaches you how to be like work within the corporate system, which is so I found pretty dull. and not very interesting.
I've taken one class like that. It was like a financial literacy class. I was happy that it wasn't like just telling us what a credit card is.
Right.
It was more than just like basic personal finance. It was actually like profit and loss statements and balance sheets and all those things. But the way I feel about it is that it's not that fun to just learn about the way things are done and like the way people are doing things.
It's just like memorization, kind of. You're like, okay. I wish people taught us about taxes, like, or how to do them.
Yeah.
Because, like, as a
Or how to get around
person, yeah,
I'm
for
a
sure.
corporate Wall Street guy.
You got those eggs in your pocket right now.
I'll get my suit.
Are you guys deducting all your guitars and stuff?
Yeah, you're trying to.
My guitar deducted
You got
mid-set.
some amortization?
Trying to, yeah.
Yeah.
What the
It's
hell is
complicated.
that?
I
It
tried
is
to do my
complicated.
taxes by hand last year, and I think I
I did
did
mine
them
in
wrong.
stone.
They sent me a letter and were like, try again.
Oh, really? We're not going to fine you, but just take a look at this.
Yeah. Like,
Check it,
Learn
please.
from your mistakes. Still don't know. I just use TurboTax.
Me too. I think you're right, though. They should be teaching us more about that, maybe even like when we're younger than tax-paying age, but also like people who are creative and who work on their own stuff and like make money in weird ways should know that you can deduct all the stuff related to the things you make.
Or you don't have to. Maybe they're like, hey, you don't have to pay taxes.
Or maybe you don't even have to pay it. They're like, you
That's what I'm trying to
sold
put out on
4
this media
records.
outlet. No taxes for me.
Yeah, well, you'd be better than the president. I have to say, this is kind of my dream, is talking about taxes and spreadsheets with a band
Rock
that
and
I
roll,
like,
dude. Rock and roll.
and about music. It's
not
I'm
all
not,
about
I'm not being sarcastic. I love all of those things.
It's nice to talk about the things that matter.
Death,
things that
rock
matter.
and
It's
roll.
not
and
about the
taxes.
music. It's not about the message. It's
about
about how you
money.
get those taxes done.
It's about money. It's about the instruments, the material objects you use to make
the amount
your
of gear,
tools.
the length of the cable.
You blame your tools. You worship your tools, and that's all that matters.
I think we could use some better tools.
My tools broke down halfway in through the set. I don't know if I mentioned that.
Yeah.
I didn't even notice, honestly.
Yeah.
You played it off well.
No, I bought it out. It's fine.
Have you ever had an epic gear malfunction while performing?
Not while performing, but I've had an epic pre-show gear malfunction, which is that I was playing at Second City, the annual Letters to Santa benefit thing,
Okay.
and we got there.
You're playing?
And
Comedy thing?
yeah, they have bands come because it's 24 hours long.
Okay.
And they have just like lots of people perform. But I unloaded all my drums, and then I realized that I didn't bring my drum seat or my kick drum pedal. Like
Whoa.
one is more important than the other, the kick drum pedal.
Word.
Because you can always find like a seat or a stool. And that was really, really awful. Steve Albini, whose wife Heather runs that benefit, was able to like go and materialize one out of nowhere. But I still have nightmares about it.
That's crazy. That's
was
like the
really
drumming
sad.
thing too, because there's so many pieces. Like we had like a long time when we first started touring where it would be like, you like get to the next show and you're like, where are the cymbals? Yeah. You're like, damn, how did this happen? We were like playing, like we could like definitely started out like doing DIY touring too, and it's like a lot of times you're like at this house and you play there and then you sleep there and you are partying there or whatever, and it was just like we were leaving so much stuff behind. Like Alex probably has like 5 drum kits just like scattered across the country.
Collectively.
But sometimes people mail it back, and it's also like incredible like moment of kindness and just like I don't know. Mailing like cymbals is crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, package them up.
expensive.
It's expensive.
That's really nice.
Shout out to all those kind folks that made it happen for our sorry situation.
Buns.
Or sorry buns.
Sorry, buns.
So what was, did you have one malfunction in mind?
I don't know. I guess one of the worst ones, the only other festival we've played of like kind of this size was a Pygmalion festival in Champaign.
Mm-hmm.
And I broke the strings on all my guitars. And so then everything also went out of tune. And I didn't have all the strings. I like only play like
You
two
broke
strings.
all the strings?
Not all of them.
Okay.
All the useful
Enough.
ones.
All the useful ones. I play like two strings mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Broke both of them. So I was like, oh, I'll just improv. And then so I basically just played random notes for like 3 songs. It was terrible. It was pretty bad, but I think it's always like worse when you're on stage than what's perceived in the crowd.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Nobody ever notices. Nobody's really listening. They don't even hear the music.
It's great to hear.
Yeah. I mean, let's face it.
The shit you can get away with.
They're drinking beer and they're maybe looking at us.
Dancing,
I don't think
perhaps.
they really hear it.
Yeah, I guess it's just about the experience,
Yeah.
which is nice because that's kind of what it is for us anyways too.
Yeah. I was going to say it is really apparent that you're having a good time, and that's really fun to see and fun to watch.
Yeah, it's nice. It's nice not to be like too serious about it.
Mm-hmm.
I guess this is just because like why I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like a good level of seriousness to maintain, I think. But
Yeah. Have you always performed that way, or did you used to be more like subdued?
yeah, I think so. Like we, at least in this band, like I play in this other group, or I've had this other group for a long time. That's like a lot more somber sounding.
What's
it's
that?
like it's called earring.
Mm-hmm.
It's like sounds like broken music or something, I guess. But that one was kind of a bit more like I would still like interact with the music, but it's like not like doesn't like it's not like running around the stage or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's like a different set of
Showbiz?
movements. It's a different set of showbiz.
Yeah, showbiz.
Not cut out for the big stage, I don't think.
Well, that's exciting to watch. And I've kind of had like a realization lately that you can really, or at least most of the time, I think you can really change the way people, a crowd perceives your show and like gives back to you depending on how apparently you're into it. you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
I think it's like, I mean, it really at the end of the day, it's like all communication between you and the audience anyways. So it's like, that's just like another extension of being able, like, it's just body language basically.
Yeah.
Even though it's like, it's not like us just sitting here.
Yeah. And the fear, I think, is that you would be super, super invested and like really energetic and emotional, and then it wouldn't get reciprocated.
Right. Like
But-
everyone's just like,
Yeah, and
Why are you
then
doing this?
and it just doesn't connect or something. But that's not so bad when and if it does happen.
because if you're still having fun, then it doesn't matter.
You're still having fun, and you can sort of, those shows can sometimes even be the best because you're just like, fuck you. It's your.
Do you have any shows like that?
Not
Oppositional?
Luckily, not very many, but I have had moments where you're with your band and people just aren't really feeling it with you. There's not a lot of emotion between you.
Sure.
And then you sort of like look at your bandmates and it does become adversarial. You're like, I'm going to play this song. I'm going to fucking enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you guys, like, we're in this together. I think it's a camaraderie building moment.
It is.
for
It is
bands.
definitely. We had like
Yeah.
a show like that in Eugene.
Yeah.
We played like the show that like almost no one came to, and like there was like these 2 tiny closets on either side of the stage. So like once we realized no one was coming, and it was kind of just like I don't know. It just like seemed like poorly put together or something.
Yeah, it was a show that
Was
we'd
it?
never played in that town before. So.
Right. And there was like the Super Bowl was happening or something.
The Super Bowl, FIFA.
Some sort of big sporting event. FIFA, Super Bowl, the
FIFA
World
Bowl.
Cup, something. The FIFA Bowl.
Rock bands are in big competition with those sports.
With FIFA.
Yeah. I did Sanford Protomartyr a couple weeks ago, and when they were in town, they had played the night of the World Series when the Cubs won, and it was like,
Oh, Protomartyr show?
yeah,
Yeah, I worked that.
you were there.
Yeah, no, it was like dead. Everyone was watching the TV and all the opening bands were like, whatever.
No.
And then Protomartyr was like, it should have been a sold out show because Protomartyr is awesome and people love them. So
Right.
it's like, like they waited till they won and everyone was like, ah! And then like, they were like, hey, congrats.
Right.
Tigers.
Yeah. Like
They
we're
ripped,
Detroit
but like
fans.
it was just funny.
Yeah.
All the opening bands got shafted though.
Yeah.
Right. It is also fun to see all the music people that you would never think or whatever, but they're like huge like sports fans or something.
yeah.
Like, but actually the other two, I guess you're kind of a sports fan.
Man.
The other two people in Nehi are like
more of a
really big sports fans. And it's like, I would never know. Or like, I just
More
like,
of a pro wrestling guy.
yeah, for sure. That's a sport.
It's art.
It's a reality, baby.
It's
Yeah.
a reality, baby. It's a reality, baby.
You into wrestling at all?
No, but we. I was just in
Wrestle a lot on tour.
We wrestle a lot. We do that. We do that for fun and for bonding. But then I was at a taco place in Chicago the other day, and they had WWE SmackDown on, and it was the first.
SmackDown's tight.
Yeah, it was the first time I had ever been exposed to that at all.
Really?
I mean, I guess we've seen
On
pictures
TV.
like on the internet and stuff, and people have like John Cena memes and all that. But I had
John
never
Cena
seen
is
it performed, and it was mind-boggling.
It's really like Mikey's kind of opened my mind to the world of it, and it's like incredibly complex and like interesting. It's like this whole drama
I
and
think
like
it's cute.
meta fiction. Like it is cute.
Not to be condescending to fans of WWE, but
What are you saying?
I think you're adorable.
It's like macho ballet
exactly.
meets like soap operas, and then it meets like
like reality TV.
but like they're incredible athletes.
It's so
honestly.
innocent.
Well, no, yeah. Well, nowadays, back in the Attitude Era with Stone Cold, that was fucking.
What's that era called?
The Attitude Era.
Yeah.
Attitude.
Oh wow! So you're revealing that you do know some shit about this.
Like not just some.
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna stop
Nehi's
talking
big goal
about-
is to try to bring it all back to that attitude.
We're trying to
era.
make a song that a wrestler will open up,
Ooh.
like their opening song.
We walk up to wrestling theme songs
Mm-hmm.
somewhat frequently. Like actually today, we walked
Dude
up.
Love, yeah. Mick Foley.
It's like a sort of a hippie wrestler, which I guess doesn't really check out because it should be like
No, he's like hippie disco
Kind.
wrestler.
yeah.
Hippie what?
He's like a disc. He does the thing
Oh.
with the knees, like the dance move. You know, when you
Where
go
you're
like back
crossing
and
your
forth. Yeah.
hands.
And he, I don't know. He's like, oh yeah, like let's do this. You know, he has like,
He's wrestling, but he's wrestling in the name of peace.
yeah.
See, that's what I'm saying. It's really cute.
It is cute.
It's nice.
Spencer.
It's real to me, damn it.
Woo!
But I think it's nice that like so many people and thousands of people are gathering to watch that and like play along with it and like
Dude Love?
spend time somewhat harmlessly. It is ironic though when you think about how many of them are just absolutely toxically masculine assholes.
In real life?
No, I mean, there's like now it's a little more enlightened because there's like, I mean, there's definitely that, and it's like half and half. That's
Oh,
why
that's good to
that's
know.
why it's good because it's like, you know, Daniel Bryan. He's like a vegan, like total progressive dude from like the Northwest. But, you know, he's like, and he's a great wrestler, and people love him.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, there's bits in that.
Oh, I didn't mean the wrestlers. I meant like people who are into it. I guess that's more like a
Yeah,
tap
no, but
out
there's that
UFC
whole vibe
thing.
too. Oh yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
Sure,
That's just
well,
like about the like,
it's back and forth.
That's about hurting people.
right. Which we don't promote.
Yep. You heard it here. We're against
We do-
hurting.
against violence.
The Coalition Against Hurting.
I'm anti-hurting people.
Yeah, me too. I say that's fair.
I'm on the fence.
Yep.
That was Ric Flair.
Is that a wrestler?
Yeah,
I've heard that name.
Is that your favorite wrestler?
he's my favorite wrestler.
So both of you guys work at the Empty Bottle. Is that
Yeah.
true?
Mikey works there more than I do, but
What do you guys do there?
I do sound engineering
I do production engineering. I do lights
and
stuff.
light engineering
Nice.
and door engineering sometimes.
I feed the bands.
Nice.
He cooks it himself.
On my little skillet.
What do you guys want on your hospitality rider? We've got this skillet or this skillet. Is that what?
And they're both eggs. What's your most ridiculous thing on your rider?
Oh my god!
Because you probably got a pretty like, you got some rider wiggle room, I'm sure.
Yeah. I don't have anything on the Oh, I have one thing on
What is it?
the Tweedy band rider, and it is dill pickles.
A specific brand?
No, any brand is fine, but as long as it's dill.
Yeah.
If you try to feed me a sweet pickle, I send it back, and I smack it on the ground, and I say, "You're fired." Yeah, dill pickles is the only thing I have, but riders kind of suck because like everybody always complains about them, and I do like production stuff too. I book shows at my school, and I do the hospitality buying and stuff, and so I see those things, and people who haven't been in bands always complain about them, like, oh my god, I can't believe they're asking for 4 cases of Topo Chico. But the thing is, at least in my experience, I don't know if you guys feel the same way, but most of the time it's not bands actually making the rider, it's management and like a tour manager that's putting it together, and their job is to please the band that they're working for and to make sure they have enough food and drink for them and fun stuff. And on top of that, most clubs they play, well, I guess depending on your level, but most of the time you're going to get almost none of it. So it's sort of like a negotiation thing where you ask for Gold Flake burgers and so that you can at least get a McDonald's burger, you know?
That's fair. I never even thought about it that way. It's like you're like, I want $400, but you really want 3.
Yeah. It's it sucks that it has to be that way, but I don't know. Or I mean, it doesn't have to be that way. But do you guys have a rider, and do you get it fulfilled most places you go?
We've been like we had when we first got a booking agent, we're like, oh, a rider, and then we put like
vegetables.
yeah, like basic
apple
stuff.
Yeah, and now we just like beer.
Yeah, we've stripped it down very minimal.
We don't need
Tequila,
that
if we can
much.
finagle it. A beer.
Sometimes, like when we're on tour, it's nice to have a bunch of like fruit and stuff for breakfast in the morning. But
Yeah.
that's it. You know.
Wow, that is very
We just wanna,
responsible.
like getting
drink.
oranges and apples or bananas that like
Yeah.
can last some days,
Yeah.
but nothing too cool, unfortunately.
Yeah. And then sometimes you even get charged for it.
I mean,
Yeah.
every time you pay for it, it's
Yeah.
like you're paying for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is something I just learned recently, and I was like, oh.
Wait a minute.
Which is actually why we pared it down, because
Yeah.
we're like, oh, we just need the essentials.
Yeah. Were you going to say something, Mikey?
No, I gotta pee.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Oh, that was
You should
that
go
was
pee.
That was
serious.
serious.
Cool.
Sorry, guys.
Do you want? There's a bathroom trailer right next to us.
Should I
think.
bring the mic?
Can I tell a rider story though?
Yeah.
While Mikey goes to the bathroom, I think it was 2014. My band with my dad was booked to play Taste of Chicago in Chicago, and it ended up getting rained out, which was really disappointing because we were like on our way out the door at home, like all the gear was in a truck, and we were ready to go play, and then it got canceled. But somehow some like Chicago Tribune reporter got all the riders. Oh, they got it from a Freedom of Information Act request because it's public money funding Taste of Chicago.
Interesting.
Yeah, you can request like any band's rider, and I think maybe some contracts and stuff
Right.
from the government because the city's paying for those shows. And so somebody did that for our rider. I think because the show was canceled, they were like, this is how much money that got wasted, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And they did like an itemized takedown of like how pompous everything on our rider was because I don't even remember what was on it, and it felt really bad.
How long did it take to get
That's
over?
my story. As you can tell, I'm still not over it.
I guess so. This is a lifelong scar this person put you through.
It's a lifelong scar. It just feels bad when people think that
Particularly if they don't
when
understand.
people think you're a jerk. Yeah,
Yeah.
when they don't understand. But
It's like not your fault it rained also.
That's true. And the other thing is, even though artists, not to turn this into like an industry lesson for listeners, but artists do get paid typically when festivals or shows are canceled for circumstances like that. But festivals have weather insurance, so it's not like when Taste of Chicago gets canceled, it's not like all the taxpayer money is going to the bands and like the taxpayers didn't get anything. The city took out weather insurance so that they get reimbursed and blah, blah, blah.
And they are taking they want the opportunity to spend like $20 on a cheeseburger.
Exactly.
That was cooked in the street.
Right. Yeah. Sorry you didn't get to buy $16 ribs.
I went there for the first time a week ago or something.
Yeah.
Because I was doing sound for Twin Peaks there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we opened for this guy named Ben Harper.
Mm-hmm. I've heard of him.
I never had heard of him before, but I guess he has Grammys or something. It was really weird. Yeah. He has a song called Burn One Down.
Whoa.
It was sick. There's like 13 congas on stage.
Oh, my God. Were they all played by one person? Or
Yeah, I had to run down the line. But they're all tuned the same, so it didn't really make any difference. But yeah, it was kind of crazy because it was just a bunch of stalls with like really overpriced food. And I'm like, it's just cooked in the street. You just go to the restaurant. And it'll be great because it's cooked in their kitchen. That's like built to do it.
Right, exactly.
You know? I don't know.
Yeah.
That's my street festivals in general. Because I work a lot of them. I love to hate them.
Yeah.
I also hate crowds.
Yeah. Yeah, I always feel
nervous.
bad being negative about festivals while we're at a festival and enjoying one.
Oh, right.
But I feel like it's also a little bit of a cliche. Like artists complain and they're like, if I weren't playing here, I wouldn't be here. But it's the way I feel, and it sounds like it's the way you feel too.
Yeah, some of them. I'm actually having a lot of fun at this one.
Yeah.
And not even just saying that because we're here. But
Yeah. No, the one you're at is always an exception.
yeah. Well, it's like I also just work a lot of these ones, and a lot of them are like cover bands that aren't good.
Yeah.
And like I hear Jesse's Girl 13 times a day
Oh.
because I have to sit there the whole time because I'm doing sound for them. So that's what I get burnt out on. And it's just like, Bud Light, Jesse's Girl.
Yeah.
And it's like 14 hours and I'm like, I can go home. And then it's like another day.
There's a festival in Wisconsin near where Mikey grew up that explicitly bans covers. All covers.
Sick. That's basically what I would like. Because I mean, Chicago actually, which I didn't realize until I toured a lot, is like, we have all these street festivals that like, it's like a Chicago thing.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize. But there's a lot of cover bands out there. Some of them are dope though.
Some
There's a
of them are
Chicago
good.
cover band here.
Oh, yeah.
That covers all Chicago songs.
Uh-huh.
They're so sick.
Really?
Yeah,
Have you
yeah.
ever heard
I think they're called the City Transit Authority.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Have you heard the Zimmerman?
No.
They're a Bob Dylan cover band,
Oh, sick.
and I love them.
Really?
Yeah, they're great.
How many times have you seen them play?
Just once.
Cool. I've seen CTA like 3 times.
No, wow, you're a real fan.
Yeah.
Do you like Chicago?
I only
The
know
band?
them through the CTA.
Oh my God, that is a next level of tribute band fandom. They introduced you to the band
yeah.
to which they are tributing.
Yeah. It's a true tribute.
Yeah. That's cool. I've never been super into Chicago, but maybe I'll like Chicago Transit Authority.
I think you might. It might be the window you need, the stepping stone.
Yeah.
Hey, Mikey.
I peed.
Well, now that you're back, Mikey.
And now we can end it.
Yeah. That's actually maybe the perfect way to end it.
Yeah. Well, before we end, I'm curious. What are you guys doing right now? You just put out a record this year. Are you guys working on a new one already?
Yeah, we've been writing like a lot of songs, demoing out.
Yeah.
Hopefully put something out next year.
Do you guys record yourself, or do you?
No, we work with this guy David Trano, and we did at do you know him?
Yeah, he mastered my EP.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah.
He has magic ears that seem to work really well.
Magic
He
tape.
he does all your tracking and everything.
Yeah, for both records so far. And he's actually running around here today. Perhaps we could find him later.
That'd be nice.
But he's a really great engineer and just like makes it really comfortable to be there and like explore ideas. So yeah, we love working with him. So I don't know. We've been demoing with him, and we'll kind of like see what we got when it's there. But
Yeah, that's awesome.
pretty excited about what we're doing though. So
Yeah.
what's coming out?
Did you make this recent record with him as well?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. And his studio's in Logan Square, right?
It was.
It was?
We recorded that one at Minball because he's kind of in between spaces at the moment.
Oh,
so.
nice.
But perhaps we'll do. Who knows?
Yeah,
We'll see what we do.
yeah.
But
Well,
probably there.
I can't wait to hear that stuff.
Thanks.
Yeah.
When's the next Blisters show?
Next Blisters show in Chicago.
Are y'all
is-
still here, or are y'all out?
Now we're here because everybody, except for me, has graduated school.
Okay.
And one of our members, our guitarist Hayden, is a full-time farmer in Green Lake, Wisconsin.
No shit.
Oh, Green Lake?
Um,
That's where my grandparents used to live.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what that's exactly about, but exactly near Fond du Lac.
Yeah, it's pretty close.
But it's actually really cool. He raises chickens and pigs and
Sweet.
grows lots of vegetables. Other than that, we do play when everybody's home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, what do you say?
I don't know. I think now the peeing's been taken care of.
I peed.
The speaking's been taken care of. I think we'll go head out and actually enjoy a music festival.
Right.
Because it's Pitchfork
Let's get out there.
and it's good.
Good talking to you, buddy.
Yeah, you too.
Is there any sort of official sign off that we have to do for this?
I don't think so.
And away
Yeah.
we go.
Boys, thanks so much for joining us here on the Talkhouse Podcast. I'm Elia Einhorn.
And I'm Amy Rose Spiegel.
Listeners, if you enjoyed today's episode, make sure you check out other episodes we've recorded backstage at Pitchfork over the years. Last year, we had an episode that contained talks between both Brian Wilson and Carly Rae Jepsen and Kamasi Washington and Thundercat. And from this year,
We had Jamila Woods in conversation with Ohm, as we mentioned
Shouts.
earlier. We had the amazing Frankie Cosmos with Vagabond.
shouts,
We had a band I love, Priests, with LCD Sound System's Tyler Pope.
shouts. And hey, Tyler Pope's label just released a fantastic new EP by Drug Apartments. Check that out. I want to give big shouts to Shure, who co-sponsored today's episode, and to Pitchfork Festival for always welcoming the Talkhouse with open arms.
Absolutely.
I also want to say, Reggio's, fuck you. That is not Chicago-style deep dish pizza. I'm a Giordano's man. I'm a ride or die Giordano's man.
This message is not officially endorsed by Talkhouse, but if you would like messages that are, we're on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at The Talkhouse.
You can also check out full video episodes on our YouTube channel.
And of course, we're always at talkhouse.com if you want to read amazing criticism and essays from some of your favorite musicians.
Today's episode was co-produced by Mark Yoshizumi.
Shouts to Mark. Thanks so much for listening, and see you next time.
Till then,
Bye.
peace.